Welcome. I am Jan Kinsey. I am with the Fairy Congress, the Gaian Congress, and every month we have a workshop. And this month, October 19th, I am proud to present Megan Rose, who will be talking about the Dark Goddess, an introduction to her many faces and expressions. Megan Rose has a doctorate in East-West psychology from the California Institute of Integral Studies and a master's degree in religion and society from the Graduate Theological Union. She is an initiated ceremonial magician, a Shakta Tantric practitioner, and a senior seer in the House of Brigh Faery Seership Institute. She serves as an ecospiritual minister and a psychospiritual counselor, and is an executive director of the Entheosis Institute. Welcome, Megan. Can you tell us a little bit about the workshop that you're going to be doing on the 19th?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is an introduction to the dark goddess. And, for many people, the idea of the dark goddess it brings up these feelings of like foreboding and fierceness. And a lot of people really only understand her to be a kind of harbinger of death or dismemberment or even sacred rage. But the dark goddess has a lot of faces and many names. She's a primordial one. This idea of the prima materia through whom the universe has been continually birthed and destroyed and rebirthed. But and as such, she's also this creatrix, a womb goddess, right? The darkness of the womb. And in that womb, she knits together new life and forms. As a dark goddess, the dark goddess is also the bringer of transformation, holding this kind of alchemical mystery in the cauldron of her being. She is also the fairy queen. She is the goddess or a goddess of the otherworld. And she is an erotic goddess. She's one who expresses raw, potent desire and sexuality. So, in this class, this introduction to her, we're going to explore some of these faces and forms and demystify some of the aspects about her that are often misunderstood or even vilified. And I really want to give guidance for how we can best approach and undertake a relationship with these various expressions of her transculturally around the world, because she's a dynamic, powerful deity. And in some parts of the planet, she has been worshipped in unbroken lineage for actually thousands of years. So I really want to focus on how we can work with the dark goddess to empower, embolden, and enable us to step into agency and sovereignty in our lives in magic. But again, this is just an introduction. I think the class is like 90 minutes. So we're going to just hit on the highlights, and then we'll dive deeper in more of a thorough unpacking of the dark goddess in a longer course with the Fairy Congress in, I think, the spring is when we're aiming for that.
Megan, thank you. This sounds exciting. And then we will tackle the dark god. And similarly, we'll have an introduction. Who is the dark god? And then what are the many faces of the dark god? When you walk a fairy path, or you walk a shamanic path, you will encounter the dark deities. Who are they? Let's unpack this. Megan, I am so looking forward to this. So October 19th, this is 10 to 11:30 Pacific Standard Time. Hope to see you there.
And that's a Saturday, right?
That's a Saturday, yes.
Yeah. 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 And I just want to say that, in the context of fairy work, I think that Carl Jung used to say that a tree can only grow as deep as high, right, as its roots grow deep. So really beginning to understand that to be full spectrum practitioners, we really have to root ourselves deep and get in right relationship with the underworld. And dark isn't about evil or even that which is shadow necessarily. It's often about that that loamy, fecund soil, right? That nurtures and nourishes us. And so we'll be reframing and looking at a lot of our conceptions around the dark deity, in this case, the dark goddess, specifically from through that psychospiritual lens.
I'm excited. This is great. This has been time coming. So why is cultivating a relationship with the dark goddess important, and why now?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I mean, I first of all, I think that the dark ones are kind of wooing us into back into right relationship with them. In, you know, in the South Asian traditions, there's a tradition where the deities, the mortis, are taken out of the temples once a year and taken and bathed and cleaned. And I think that the dark deities and the dark goddess is asking for that from a sort of psychospiritual angle, to like to really disentangle the projections that have been made onto the underworld or the otherworldly deities, because that they're, you know, like I explained in the intro, they're where all of this potency and vitality and transformation and transformative potential lies. And it's not necessarily about baleful or malefic magic. It's actually about um, understanding our depths and going into, you know, the dark is where we rest and we sleep, and where the mystery is, and where the when the dreams come. And if we lived 24/7 in light, you know, that's a kind of madness inducing way to be. And so we need the balance, just like we need the winter to balance the summer and the night to balance the day. We need the underworld deities to balance the work that we might do in the upper world. And certainly if you're doing underworld or shamanic journey work, you're going into those realms, so you want to kind of be well equipped to know who you might encounter there.
Brilliantly said, stated. Megan, thank you. We'll see you on October 19th, 10 to 11:30. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
See you then.